So welcome to the new championship review. This is usually put up on a Monday, but I've decided to do it just after the fixtures finish on a Saturday evening. I hope you like the new system, and I really hope you enjoyed the video, of course. Let's start off with Aston Villa and Reading. An amazing point for Reading. I actually went 1-1 on the Super 6 on this one, and I was really pleased. It was El Ghazi, the new signing for Aston Villa, setting up El Mohammadi, who made it 1-0 after 15 minutes of the game, and it looked like they were going to win 1-0 and go to third in the table above Bolton, but a late penalty was given, and Sam Baldock converted it to make it a draw. Really good point for Reading. They still haven't won yet, but after losing their first 3 games, I think it was, or 4 games, 2 really good points on the road, one at Blackburn and now one at Villa. Really good. Next we go to Blackburn, actually, who got a win. They moved up to 5th in the table. Is it 5th? Yeah, 5th in the table, so really good start by them, putting that draw behind them and winning at home to Brentford. So Brentford have had a good start, but this isn't what they wanted at all. Casey Palmer scoring the only goal of the game after 55 minutes. Dean Smith made changes, bringing on Alan Judge, bringing on McLeod, who's had a good start to the season. But none of those made any difference, and now they've just dropped out to 8th place. Not what I was expecting at all. And another thing I wasn't expecting was Bolton getting hammered and outplayed by Sheffield United. So 3 goals were scored in this one, and it ended 3-0 to Sheffield United away at the Macron Stadium. I think it's still called the Macron Stadium. John Fleck, Freeman and Duffy getting the goals there. So really good win for Chris Wilder. After a rocky start, losing to Swansea and then going to Middlesbrough and losing, since then 3 wins on the bounce. That's exactly what Chris Wilder would have wanted. A great response, and now they're just outside the playoffs. After losing those 2 games, they are now 3 wins in a row. Another team that has started to a winning streak was Derby. After winning on Tuesday night against Ipswich, they played Preston and they won that one. Mason Mount having a huge impact and say in this game, scoring just before half time and then setting up Richard Keogh to make it 2-0. Big attendance at Pride Park for Frank Lampard, and a really good win. That puts them into 6th place. That makes them just inside the playoffs, which is where, that's the minimum expectation I would imagine for Lampard, is to try and get them in the playoffs. Anything better than that would be absolutely incredible. But really starting to look a lot better now. After that 4-1 defeat to Leeds, there was a lot of concern, which is fair enough. 4-1 is a bit of a hammering, and then they obviously lost to Millwall, but they've bounced back with 2 really good victories over Ipswich and now Preston. And then the story of the day is at Carrow Road. A really good win. Over 2,500 Leeds fans travelled over to Norwich, and they enjoyed what they saw. Click getting the first goal. He's been exceptional since Bielsa has come in. Alioski getting the second, 26 minutes in, assist by Kamal Roof, and then Hernandez made it 3-0 just before the 70th minute and made sure of the points. That puts them top, 13 points, 14 goals scored, 4 conceded, plus 10 goal difference. They are on level on points with Middlesbrough, who played last night, and they are playing each other on Friday night. That is something I'm really looking forward to. A really good game in the process at Ellen Road. So that is something to look forward to, and a huge 3 points at Loftus Road for QPR. Tom Mohamed scoring the only goal after the game 35 minutes in, and they won 1-0 after conceding 10 goals in 4 games. They finally got a win. Really important. That clean sheet as well. If it had been 2-1, then it is what it is. But that clean sheet is so important. That lifts them to 22nd, the first 3 points of the season, which leaves Reading and Ipswich as the only teams without a win. So next we actually go to Ipswich. Ipswich lost 2-1 at Hillsborough to Sheffield. Wednesday it was Zhao, who was really good last season, or was it the season before, for Sheffield Wednesday. He opened the score. Barry Bannon assisting there in Toto Enciala, the new signing for Ipswich from Shrewsbury, Paulhurst Old Club, made it 1-1. But then Enciala was sent off, and 2 minutes later Zhao again made it safe. So made the 3 points, and Lucas Zhao had a really huge say in this game, but Enciala really let his side down. They could have picked up a point in which they need after still not won anything, and it's really looking a bit gloomy so far at Portman Road. Stoke got their first 3 points of the season. James McLean scoring 10 minutes in, and then a Device own goal just before the hour mark made it 2-0. Evandro was sent off for Hull, and it was an easy win. Just what they wanted at the Bet365 Sive Stadium. Just what Gary Rowett needed after that 3-0 humiliation by Wigan. This puts them up to 16th. Hull, just that one win so far this season against Rotherham. It could be a tough season ahead for Hull. Next, a really good win for Bristol City. 1-0 against Swansea. The goal scorer was Vyman. Vyman has been on fire. That's 5 goals for the season already. Really making a huge impact for the Robins after losing Bobby Reid. He has really stepped up. A fantastic start for him. They pressed and desperate for getting that equaliser, but they did not come, and they held on for the 3 points. That puts Bristol City up to 9th in the table. Cracking win for Lee Johnson's men. Finally, the game that has just finished between Nottingham Forest and Birmingham, and Birmingham will be kicking themselves big time. So Lucas Jukovic, who I remember playing for Swindon years ago, probably about 10 years ago that was. No, it was probably more. It was donkeys years ago. He made it 1-0 after 20 minutes. A delicious header made it 1-0 past the goalkeeper. There was nothing he could have done at Pantilimon, and you know that he is up here, so delicious header. Went in at the break 1-0. Second half, it came 2-0. 5 minutes after he came on in the 72nd minute. Che Adams made it 2-0. Joe Lolly got them back into the game 3 minutes later, and then 3 minutes from time, Daryl Murphy rescued a point for Aitor Karanka's Forest. So Birmingham are still without a win so far this season. They have drawn 3 games and lost 2. So they've only lost twice, which is the lowest for a long way, but they haven't won yet. So they've had those 3 draws. 3 draws is almost the most. The only team that's had more than 3 draws is Forest, who have had 4 draws. They've drawn with West Brom, they've drawn with Wigan, and they've drawn with Bristol City, as well as this result today. So a really good point in the circumstances for Forest. But Birmingham, they'll be kicking themselves. But it does go to show that they are improving under Gary Monk, and he could get it right very soon. So we don't have any football this week, EFL wise. It's just the Carabao Cup, so there's no league football. So let's get into the table. So Leeds lead the way after that amazing 3-0 win. They're on 13 points with that plus 10 goal difference. Middlesbrough just behind with a plus 7 goal difference on 13 points. Bolton are in 3rd place with 10 points, but did receive a hammering from Sheffield United. The other teams in the playoffs are Aston Villa, Blackburn, and Derby all move up into the playoffs. Just outside we have Sheffield United, who are on the same points as Aston Villa, Blackburn and Derby, and then on 8 points we have Brentford, Bristol City and Swansea. In the relegation zone we have Ipswich on 2 points. It's really concerning so far for Paul Hurst. Maybe they're starting to wish that Mick McCarthy was still in charge. I don't know. These things take time. Next, Reading, 2 points, both picked up in the last 2 games. They're starting to turn things around. And then we have QPR, who won today, but due to their minus 10 goal difference, they are still in the relegation zone. That could cost them. And we're only 5 games in. Next, we have Rotherham on 3 points. Birmingham on 3 points, and then on 4 points in 19th, 18th, 17th, Preston, Hull and Norwich. So that is the Championship review. The next time there are any games besides tomorrow when Rotherham play Millwall, if Rotherham get a win there, that would be an amazing 3 points. They are desperate for something. But next weekend we have Leeds and Middlesbrough on Friday. That will be an immense game. I'm really looking forward to watching that one. And then other games, Birmingham, and QPR. That is a game that has a lot riding on it already. Hull will try and pick up their form with a home game against Derby. Brentford and Nottingham Forest, that should be a very good game. And then in the late game is Millwall versus Swansea. So thanks so much for joining in with this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are new, hit subscribe. I cover the EFL. I cover League 1 and 2. That will be out on Monday. And I cover the Premier League as well as the Championship. So if you are a fan of any of those leagues, press subscribe because I cover all sorts of football in England. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Mike. And I will see you soon.